We've had peace in these lands for many years now. But one of our villages burned tonight.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. My name is Christy. That's Alonzo. That is Matt. I've never played any version of Warcraft in my life. I'm going to put that out there for all of you right now. Matt, however, is an aficionado of this genre of stuff.
Shocker, I know.
I wouldn't say aficionado is strong word.
You know more than we do.
True, that's not tough.
I'll say low bar.
All right, so Warcraft, this is based on the massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Is it? Because
yes.
I said that in my review and somebody on Twitter was like, I'm an idiot, so.
Why are you an idiot?
No, it is.
It is? Okay. There.
It is. I'm sorry, World of Warcraft. It's based on World of Warcraft, not Warcraft.
Well, no. That's the other thing I got shit about, was apparently it's based on the first game or the third game
whatever.
or before the World of Warcraft. I don't know what the fuck.
Look, like if you dig into the news about it, it's based on the whole thing, right?
Okay.
So I'm not going to get into an argument with people who are hardcore gamers.
Welcome to my world.
Right? Yeah. Like that way lies madness. The point is, it's based on the franchise. It's based on probably both World of Warcraft and the traditional battling game. This is a refugee story about a group of orcs who call themselves the Horde, made up of different tribes who are abandoning their dead world. They come to this new world, specifically the kingdom of Azeroth, and they're going to take over because they need land, and that brings them into conflict with the forces of Azeroth and these other kingdoms. We see some dwarves, we see some elves, there's a lot of CGI here, a lot of fighting, a lot of Warcraft. I kind of dug this one. Let's take a look.
War is coming.
An invasion.
If we do not unite to fight this enemy, our world will perish.
Saving the world is not a one-man job.
We fight together or we die together.
You'll have me to protect you.
I need no one to protect me.
Well then.
Whatever you plan to do it now!
Yeah, I did not kind of dig this one. This is terrible, and it brings me no joy to say this because the director of
Duncan Jones.
It's Duncan Jones, and I love Moon. It's my favorite movie, 2009. It's so great. I really like Source Code, not as much as Moon, but he has this great
both
knack.
like solid kind of genre films with ideas.
Right, he has this great knack for taking complicated ideas, right? Complicated sci-fi ideas and making them like intimate and accessible, and there's a verve to them and an excitement and an intelligence to them, and it's like nothing that is a part of his, albeit brief, filmmaking tradition exists here. Like there's no trace of him or his tone or his voice, and I feel like he just got swallowed up by just the enormity of just the big glossy CGI mess of it all. I don't know what happened here, and I don't understand.
Yeah, it feels very generic. There's no sense of anybody at the tiller here. I think he's kind of stuck with, having to provide these things that people who are familiar with the source material insist upon seeing, and hasn't done that in a way that makes for good drama or good characterization or any of that stuff. And again, I don't have a problem with video game movies any more than I have a problem with movies based on anything else. I mean, I've seen, I liked Clue when it came out. That was based on a board game. I never thought that was horrifying. I have seen horrible movies based on, Pulitzer Prize winning Broadway shows and, Nobel Prize author novels, So it's not about the source material. It's what we're looking at here on the screen.
You have to review it based on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's ugly. It's boring. It if it had like the tiniest bit of a sense of humor, it could have been at least as fun as something like Jupiter Ascending, which was absurd, but at least
this
leaned
is far
in.
better than Jupiter
Oh,
Ascending.
no. Jupiter Ascending has fun and has a sense of its own absurdity. This movie is such a slog and is so serious.
We're going to start our own war right here.
Fine,
as
you're
far
wrong.
as like over-the-top CGI ridiculousness, Jupiter Ascending is trash. Gods of Egypt is
Gods of Egypt is junk.
Okay, but
we
look,
can agree on that.
This is head and shoulders above Gods of Egypt.
No.
Absolutely.
It is on par. It is on par as a boring CGI fest with no recognizable characters and a story you don't give a flip about.
I disagree. I actually found there were moments of this story that I actually thought were kind of interesting. Look, like this is, as I said before, this is a refugee story, right? This is a story where what was interesting is, as much as there is one particular character in the orc horde who's kind of running that group that is clearly the bad guy, the evil, like you've got people you identify with on both sides.
Do you?
Yeah, you totally do. You totally do. The chieftain, look, this movie is not without plenty of flaws. Don't get me wrong. Like as movies goes, this isn't very good, but I think it does a good job of delivering to the fans things that they expect and finding a balance between like kind of doing all the fan service and actually coming up with a decent story. I think this movie does okay. Again, it doesn't do great. And yeah, okay, I'll qualify saying I went in with super low expectations and had a couple of really strong drinks.
Aha! It all comes out now.
Don't see this sober.
I saw it sober.
Yeah, see, that was
and
your
I didn't
mistake.
like it. Right?
And
but
we saw The
also-
Conjuring 2 last night after a few drinks. And how much did we like it?
But we would like that anyway, I think, because it's really, really good. No, but I couldn't tell what was going on, from both a visual and a narrative perspective.
So there's a couple of problems. Amongst the problems, first of all, the character design of the orcs is rough because they all have the same face.
They all
as
look
much
alike.
as they give them
It's John Carter syndrome.
They all
it
look
is.
alike,
And, as
and then
much
they
as
fight each other.
As much as like, all right, one of them is bald, and one of them has hair, and one of them is darker, and one of them is green. Like, it's not enough. Like, they don't do a good job of differentiating the faces. So it's hard to track who's talking about what, even if you're paying attention. That being said, like, I felt like, you have this main orc character who was caught up and he realizes, like, the things that his whole army is doing.
The Toby Kebbell orc?
Like, he's not.
Is that who you mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, yes.
He's not
Exactly,
right.
I guess. You don't even know who's playing him.
No, I grant you, that guy, he's conflicted.
Like,
they give
he's
him something to care about, but it's not interesting.
I disagree. Like, I found it kind of interesting. Like, you've got these two groups that they're tilting towards war that you realize, like, neither of them really want it. And look, you guys are going to go insane because I'm going to bring up a movie that is one of the best movies in this genre of all time.
Okay.
But similar to the way you've got this good versus good conflict in Princess Mononoke, you've got a little bit of that going on in here.
Don't you dare!
I'm going to bust a gut.
I'm just saying.
Even mention that classic
I think
in the context of this
What
shit
I will
heap.
say is I think that this movie has ambition in a way that it's trying to tell an interesting story. There's this wistful ending that happens with
that sets up 8 sequels.
The wistful ending is a shameless attempt at making
I
it a
disagree.
franchise.
I disagree. I think it's got this relatively wistful ending between the guy from Vikings.
No, the Brooklyn
whatever.
pickle entrepreneur
pickle
from
guy.
Maggie's Plan.
Right, Travis Fimmel, yes.
Sybil and what's her
Paula
name?
Patton.
Paula Patton.
Paula Patton.
Call your agent,
The
girl.
worst
Again.
novelty store fangs you've
I
ever
will
seen
say
in your whole
the
life.
execution of this movie
Not since
has a
Nicolas
lot of
Cage
problems,
and
but
Vampire's
I think-
Kiss.
Look, this is it's certainly a better video game adaptation than Angry Birds was. Like
No,
I don't
that
know
was
that
at
I'm
least
even going to
pretty.
give you that.
Totally is.
That was at least pleasurable to look at.
Again, like I think this
We're so
movie
angry
has.
at
I know.
I think this movie at least has ambition, and it doesn't deliver on it. But I'm gonna look like I'm gonna have a score that is much higher than you guys. I'm
Okay.
totally jinking this score
Yeah.
up.
You want to give your score
Because
now?
Oh,
I think-
no.
We'll go ahead and
I
do it.
have more things to talk about.
I think
Lonzo's
it's
not done here.
okay for a movie that is clearly made for people. It is kind of only made for people who've ever played these games. And if you've never played these, if you've never played any RPG, you're going to be kind of completely lost.
Well, here's my question though: if it's going to be this kind of massive summer blockbuster, shouldn't it be accessible to more than just the people who
It should
played
be.
the game?
And look, like I think they screwed that up. Absolutely, I don't disagree with you.
I mean, yeah,
But I
just
think-
adaptations
but-
in general, you shouldn't have had to have read the book or seen the play
But
or
look,
whatever.
like, is this movie worse than staring at a blank wall for 2 hours? Not at all. No.
I'd rather stare at a
I think I'm going to go with Blank
No,
Wall.
I also
too.
It's
pick
better
Blank
than
Wall.
Gods of Egypt.
Blank Wall, the
It's
movie.
1,000. It's 1,000 times better than Gods of Egypt. It's 1,000 times better than Jupiter Ascending.
No,
Jupiter
Like,
Ascending
no.
has some gorgeous
Jupiter
costumes.
Ascending is fun to
No,
look
no.
at,
Eddie
and it
Redmayne.
is so ridiculously over the top that it's never not fun, even when you're rolling your eyes
I
at
think
it.
it's
This is
unintentionally fun.
No,
whatever.
Eddie
Either
Redmayne
way,
is
there's not
Eddie
even unintentional
Right.
fun in this one.
No.
Although they do
listen,
try to have
Jupiter's-
some, I'm sorry, I was going to really fast. It's dour and self-serious, but they try to have these anachronistic little quippy banter moments, and those never work.
And then and Ben Foster, who I've never seen give a bad performance before.
Oh, he's terribly
what is going
miscast.
on?
Terribly miscast in this. Look, like I'm not saying this movie is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it's acceptable. It's acceptable, which
Which it
on the
shouldn't be.
spectrum of video game movies, that's an A+.
Can I really fast mention Paula Patton between this and the do-over?
Oh, yeah.
Call Your Agent. Also, there's the whole like uncomfortable racial element of her being in chains and tatters, but she's also supposed to be kind of sexy and titillating. I don't know.
The whole thing is kind of bizarre. I will say there's one decent performance in this movie.
Who's
and
it
that is
from?
Ben Schertzer.
Oh yeah, he's okay.
He's always good, and that's the only reason I'm not giving this a 0.
Okay, then what's your number?
I gave it a 1
I also
for Ben
give it-
Schertzer.
I also give it a 1.
I give it a 5.
Woo woo!
Yeah, so
Our average is a 2.3. It's too low. And where is it on the
too
tomato
low.
meter?
It is in the 20s on the tomato meter.
There you go.
23%, which I think.
But
sounds
I will adjust the slider and make it go higher.
All right, go see it and let us know how dumb we are. Bye. Brought Nick.
Princess Mononoke.
Really? I brought
Give me
Nick
a
with me.
I thought of that. I was
break.
like, oh, this is going to make Alonso
You
insane.
can see the steam coming out of his ears.